comes into play running backwards. You mess up that corner, you're going to hit on. Yeah, you're going to hit that. Yeah, we're trying to come up with a game plan on how we want to do this. And then, like,
Has this got a crown to it too? It looks like. Very
it
slight.
feels like.
Yeah.
On that back end with the kink. When you run it backwards, it's surprising how big that hill is.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's come downhill, and then like you come, and then at the bridge, it seems like you go uphill, and then you hit like that divot. I think there's a crown on the other side of the bridge. It's like the left side of the track kind of just like off, and then the right side of the track kind of like, and there's like a high point in the middle of it until you hit that corner. There's a guy out on the back street running the machine.
Yeah, I was just kind of saying, I wonder if they're going to be upset that we're walking. We've been told it was okay, so.
They actually encouraged? Yeah, they did. We had NASA events they encouraged. Well, yeah, it was a NASA event in Virginia.
Well, and then
We have instructor course walk where they get like 15 instructors.
we didn't get any trouble at Summit Point either.
No.
Well, there's your bump you're feeling here.
Oh, no, it's back here.
Well, you said it was bumpy here too, didn't you?
I said from under the bridge going, you go uphill. From here, you go uphill a little bit, and then you come back down.
Well, yeah, you can already see from here where the ground gets dark and light and then dark.
And
Yeah.
it's like kind of like falls off. But there is a bump here. I mean, it's like right here. It seems like right here. It's kind of like a little high spot in it.
Yeah.
What do you do, Chip? Just come all the way full throttle all the way down through here until you crest it? Yeah. That's what I was doing. Last time I was here, I would just lift turn one. I didn't even brake. Yeah, it seems to me right about. I don't know, maybe like about here-ish. Lifting maybe about right here-ish, and then before I hit that dip, I think I brush them and go. Yeah. I like to turn in when I get to the very last square of the blend line. And actually, I'm probably not lifting all the way. I'm probably starting to breathe, because I think at that point in time, I think I glanced at that station. You can see there's no one off of that in that line corner. Yeah. And then when my eyes come back, full lift, brush, and then by that time I see the candy stripe. You know, I'm gonna see the candy stripe from here, and about that time I'm starting to turn in.
You can see it a little bit, but when you're down at like actual driving height, you're probably not going to see it from here.
Yeah, it's probably more like up here where these two brush spots are. Probably where you were. Probably get the stuff. Like this land, and it's just like. And they're going over here. Huh? So I wonder what they're going over here. Maybe hopefully building a hotel. Yeah.
I keep hearing that they're supposed to be getting rid of all these tires, but
Yeah, I heard that they touch the tires, then it becomes environmental. EPA thing.
Mm.
As long as they don't touch one, they gotta do them all, and they don't really want the money for all that.
I imagine.
It's too bad they didn't bundle them up like they.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I had actually mentioned when I was streaming earlier, was if they hit these tire walls, those don't go back together quickly because they're not handy bundles like the other tracks have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like that, the Miata that wrecked, he went backwards into the tire wall, and it seems like when people do that, or hit the tire wall, they act more as a ramp than they do
barriers.
Yeah. Well, because I think Black Hawk Farms has the same issue. I remember hearing of a couple cars getting parked up on tire barriers there too.
Yeah.
Coming down through here,
The,
all the way back out.
the ones at this track all seemed like they were very usable.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of a bank back into the inside, so they'd probably push you back off, but nothing that would stop you from using them.
I was out here with Matt Whitecan.
Unless they were wet.
That black speckly on it.
Mm-hmm.
He is
Okay.
on these candies the entire way around.
Yeah.
First time I drove this track, they didn't have the concrete in yet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was the kind of scary portion because then, like, at the end of this, it was like this big, huge freaking drop off at where they were going to put the candies in, the stripes.
Yeah, there was like 6 inch drop right here.
Jeez. Yeah, I guess the one thing that would stop these from being usable is if they get wet. I'm sure they're slick as all hell, but
I know some of them are really smooth.
mm-hmm.
Slick when they're wet.
These still don't seem like. I imagine they'd lose a good bit of grip whenever they get wet.
Yeah, I would say they probably get, when they get poured in, they're going to
Yeah.
nasty.
I mean, even the paint on them would make it
Were you up there
a more of a slick surface.
No.
Oh, man.
I heard that track is hell on walls.
You used to stay narrow. I'll show you. I got the pictures on here, actually. And, well, after taking this one, I'll show you the pictures.
I went to Putnam 2 weeks ago. That was a nice track.
I was kind of wondering what that was like out there.
I like it. It's a nice track. It reminds me a lot of Gingerman.
Okay.
Lots and lots of runoff. No walls.
It'd be handy.
Everywhere.
Granted, Shenandoah, unless somebody like gets into you, I don't think it's like the speed's really high enough to.
I mean, there's a lot of runoff, like in the places where you would spin it and run it off and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this, you know, you're within 3-5 feet of the wall most of the time. Real technical, real close up at these walls. You know, like at that one. You're actually coming at that wall. You know, I mean, full throttle. And it comes up off
Come on.
camber. And it's gnarly. And then you have that, what was it, the carousel, and it's like the mall on the left, what, the Nürburgring?
Yes. Yep.
You researched it and said it was, what, 20 degrees?
20 degrees. Yep.
20 degree banking.
Yeah.
You can't, like, throttle it or anything. Once you drop in, you're just kind of there for the ride. You just kind of, like, hold on. Just whatever input you put it in, that's what you have.
You hold it. Yeah.
You just hold it until you get all the way around. Well, I decided I'm not doing that. I'm dropping the middle where it's like the flattest part.
Yeah.
I was just hugging that thing in, and we were picking up some pretty good times through it.
That was my home track for a little bit.
I love that track.
Stationed down in Goose Creek. It was like 2 or 3 hours away from where I was at, but that was the closest thing I had.
I'm going, I'm
Come on.
driving there in October.
Are you?
Yeah.
See, it's kind of like this track where the spectator area is not really. I guess you can get to more here than what you can at Carolina Motorsports Park, but
Yeah. I tell you where I'm camped out's a pretty nice spot to watch the cars.
yeah, especially if you get up on the top of something.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be the one thing that would make this place a lot more visible to spectators if you had a way to get on top of your RV or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just lifting through here.
Yeah.
That's what Chris was doing, basically. I mean, just get out like that. I'm not there yet. Maybe by the end of this today, tomorrow. Yeah, we're hoping to take over.
Well, now that you've seen somebody do it, you know it can be done in your car
I
too.
bet it can be done. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it said. Tomorrow, hopefully by the end of the morning, I'll have it down.
Yeah.
As my tires start getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, we're gonna have her down. I'll just work on this section tomorrow. I worked on this here, so it's good. I think that was pretty good. Come down here and get the heat. Now that I'm like I feel a little bit more braver now after kind of like I'm standing right here, because like it's kind of, I mean, you have some banking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you go closer and closer to the end of that
Yeah.
track, which is surprisingly, because it doesn't feel like you have as much like any kind of banking or anything that's going to try to hold you on. I got Chris's data. I saved it.
Yeah.
We're going to compare them all throughout the night tonight. I'll be down there again.
It's cheaty.
Huh?
It's cheaty.
Anyone would do that if they had the technology. Yeah.
That's like one of the things I did at BMC. I put mine in Stewart's car and told him to go run on his tires and everything. I wanted to see what he was doing different from what I was doing.
Yeah.
This is the only concern going into this turn is the whole, come off of this, I'm all the way out over here. I would love to be able to get all the way back over, but there's not enough room for me, because then the car's pointed more towards that flag station than it is anything else. So this
Yeah.
is making an even bigger turn, trying to loop it on around.
I like to try to get as far right as I can over here.
Well, yeah, I haven't found that sweet spot of when I can get the car over, get it straight, and then.
Well, if you only have 100 horsepower, it's not too bad to get it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have like maybe 250, we're hoping then. Yeah, because I tried it once, I tried to go all the way over to the right, and it did not like. Car said, "Nope, I'm giving up." Do that again, I'm gonna put you in the wall. I wonder if it didn't do the same thing that Volkswagen did, and dropped this in there hot, and then tried to hold it, and then just ramped it up on the other side of the banking.
Yeah.
Like in like 3/4 of the way, like maybe like right where that plane's at. You just kind of brush and go on this.
On this one,
Yeah.
this is my, probably the second hardest braking I do is right here. If you're carrying enough speed through there, this becomes very hard braking.
I'm usually probably braking where it's getting like that. Or like braking the pavement changes. Braking, and then like into this pavement change, I'm making a turn.
I like to straddle this pavement, that
Yeah.
line out here. When I come over here and when I hit that, I like to run that around. I hit partway around the turn.
I'm going to say probably my left front tire is probably like right on this line, or like I mean on the left side of this line as we go through, and then as soon as it hits that,
They didn't have any cones at
Gingerman or Putnam.
They didn't have any at Summit either.
Look at that, we're gonna get that right there. Okay, I got you in the picture. It doesn't matter if you're in the picture because what I'm looking at is all the way down here. Let's see, we're gonna go. I took the stuff that we got from Doug Boyd after we track walk and did that thing.
How many seconds did I pick up after we did that track?
There was a ton of time. So I was able to look at them and find reference points to like, okay, that's where
Yeah.
I
Well, and I mean, when you walked it too, it became so much more obvious how many like spray painted cone marks and everything were down. And did
I wonder, like that one looks kind of weird too, as it kind of comes. You would think that smushed or.
But I mean, I don't see any evident tire marks or anything leading out here either.
There's obviously something that was here. Someone's been through there.
You can see some
Maybe
marks.
that day. Well, you kind of see maybe.
Oh, yeah, you can see
Yeah,
some
you
faint
see it
marks.
right there.
Okay. Straight off too.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if maybe you think how he ended up on his top was he hit that and
They said he hit it backwards.
well that might have done it then.
Somebody hit over here too. Yeah, I don't see any marks this way.
From today at least. Oh well.
So it looks like he started to turn in and the car didn't even want to turn for him.
That's the year's banking right
It
there.
is.
That's a, yeah.
That much. It's
When you're
been
in
like,
it.
yeah.
You drop in that hole.
And it looks like, does it come uphill a little bit too?
If it is, it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, that's seriously banked way more than I thought it was.
And still use some more confidence in order to. I mean, like it's progressive. I mean, you just can't charge in that corner with like all your speed, but you definitely roll in the power.
Yeah.
I would say probably right here you should be able to just eat full throttle.
This was pretty wicked doing it backwards.
Yeah, because of the whole. Because it's coming to full with the bank the same way. Yeah.
It's exactly what we were just
That's what
talking
we're
about.
doing, Yeah.
It took 2 days to do the painting.
2 days to do the painting.
Well, I guess the downside to if you push it too hard is the backside of this is right downhill into the tires too, so don't shoot it over the top. Yeah.
Well, it'd be just like that carousel at some
Yeah.
point. I mean, when you start tracking out whatever line you have previously set in your game plan, you need to start backing off and correcting.
If you can hold it, you're doing well. But if it gets sketchy, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. I've been wondering this for a while now. The pass through, where you have the track gates and you open them up,
Yeah.
and the pass through there.
Right.
Is there like a drain pipe or something that is in that section that causes that hump? That's right there, or
At the crossover,
at the crossover.
there is a drain pipe. If you look closely at the grass, you can see where it kind of furrows under.
Because it just seems like every time I come through that section, and that's why I kind of want to do this track walk.
itself?
Huh?
On the track itself?
You know, on the track itself, like there's a drain pipe underneath of it that, like with the pavement settling, it's showing that drain pipe, and it just seems like every time I go across that, it's like I'm hitting railroad tracks.
Yeah,
you know,
you're crossing into the track.
No. As I'm on the track crossing that section of track.
No, we don't have drain pipe.
Okay. It
That's
just
my
seems
favorite
really,
section
really
of the
weird.
track. Over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I can fly through that.
The bump in 11
Yeah.
Yeah.
that tends to move every year.
Yeah.
It's going further west.
Hmm.
Motorcycles, to see them on that, they're 3 inches off the ground, skipping to one side.
Yeah. Oh, my Miata, it feels like it
It hops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's what I'm
hops.
saying. Like, to me, it seems like a railroad. Like you're going across railroad tracks. You know, like you hit them and it's like a boom, and then like you're done.
I don't hear anything, but my Miata definitely hops.
I didn't notice. I mean, is that? I think that's
Manned? I mean, I went out with you during lunch. I'm not sure.
see, I'm coming through here, and I'm like just staying tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like almost probably carrying right where that little hole is starting to develop.
Yeah.
Right there, I'm probably aiming for that right there.
Okay, so once you get around this corner though, you're straight lining your way into the carousel, right? You kind of double apexing, you said?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask Chip, see what he's doing.
Okay.
So what like Chris was doing is he's holding and hugging that tree and scrubbing speed,
Mm-hmm.
and then like back there where those clouds were forming, basically aiming towards that, and then kind of it lets it come out, get on the banking, and then comes on out. It basically does double apex. But yeah, I come through here and just on through. Yeah, so if I drop a tire here, I drop a tire. But that was
This isn't much of a drop,
well
especially since you
at
get
this point, but at one point in time, it was like that far.
yeah.
I mean, it was just
Well, you
straight
can tell they filled with some gravel or something down here.
filled with gravel and seeded it and stuff.
But yeah, I mean they've done so much better, or so much to make this track surface better. I mean that's
And then see, like from here, I'm just like possibly just straight shot
yeah.
right around that. See, now they call that oak tree. I'd call it that.
You could have oak tree 1 and oak tree 2.
Oak tree 1 and son of oak tree. Gonna do it VRR.
Well, because oak tree isn't there anymore.
Yeah, lightning hit that. That was a sad day.
Yeah, it was a shame. I got to go there before the lightning hit it.
Now, do you,
Actually, that was for those Ferrari and those Corvette days.
do you straight shot this? Coming out of this corner, you straight shot it and just hug it around
I usually end up drifting up about halfway,
back the track.
and then I drift back over here to the left before I enter the next turn, and then I try to make that as straight as I can. You know, a lot of people, they like hug it and go in continuous circle. What I do is I get up here at a certain point, and then there's an opening straight ahead. I try to make it a straight line.
Yeah. Before you get back there.
Yeah. And then I do my braking and my downshifting in that straight line. So I go from fourth to third, and then I'm in third the rest of the way around that. Okay. All this from the carousel?
Yeah.
See that opening straight ahead there?
Yeah. And the trees up
Try to
here.
make a straight line from the outside, inside, straight towards that opening.
The second opening, right?
It's like right straight
In the
ahead
tree,
from
you
here.
mean?
Okay.
It's an opening in the woods.
In the back there. There's
Oh, okay.
if you're standing right here, there's an opening on the left. There's an opening on the right. I believe Chip's talking about the one on the right.
Yeah, the one on the right.
Okay. Hey Connor.
Hey.
Huh?
What is it?
Same thing we were finding down at the bottom of the carousel.
Oh, it's nice.
It's got the same markings and everything.
What is it? A washer?
Yeah, the dude had a what was it? Splitter came on. What he did was he went into the carousel in that banking, and he went into it wrong and straddled it as it came down, and like it high centered the car and like busted the splitter, and then destroyed the transcooler or the oil cooler, or roughed it up. All caused all kinds of damage. There's all these. When we walked through the force walk, we found all these bolts and nuts and stuff laying down the bottom of this groove in the carousel. And I'm like, yeah, we picked them all up.
So apparently he's been here too.
He's in the blue. He's in that burgundy Ford that's over on the.
Oh, okay, same guy.
That was
Gotcha.
the guy that was like 2 stalls down from us.
Okay, is that where he put it in the wall?
He's the guy that put it in the wall. Yeah.
Was that when he did it? Was when he high centered it in the carousel?
No. He did that another time.
Is it a burgundy Ford Mustang
Yeah.
with a black hood?
Yeah.
Yes.
The one at Kenny Brown along the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he was at Putnam.
Was he?
Yeah. So he went. Was that last week? You guys were at Summit Point.
Yes.
So he wrecked that car last week.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. He tore that thing.
Wow.
Put the driver's side in.
See, you got that car here today.
Yeah.
He has it here today. Now, see, this
I didn't
one
pay
is
any
the one
attention.
I take with my high horsepower car.
Yeah.
I'll come all the way out here and hold it, 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 and hold it until I get to, I make that straight, and I just shoot out of it.
That's the way, when I went around with Matt, that's the way he does it. Since I was in novice, I've done it this way. You see the opening right straight ahead?
Yes, I see it. Basically, as soon as you see it, then you're going.
Yeah, as soon as I see it, I make this straight to that opening. That's my brake zone.
Okay, so Chip's more or less doing what you were talking about earlier about other people doing, where they kind of come out in the middle of the corner and then slow it down a bunch and make the
I mean,
turn.
that's what I was saying. That was all the notes I had from last time I was here. And like I said, the last time I was here was with the GTR. And I'd come straight out through here, and then, like I said, come out to this outside more to the left.
Yeah.
And then just kind of hold this, and then just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and until it starts straightening out. Because it gets to like the middle of, I think, 18 or whatever it is, it just feels like it straightens out. And I just start hammering, just start squeezing on that brake, or not brake, but throttle, and just.
Was that the one with?
Wound up tight with all 500 horsepower, and I'm clicking off 120 by the key.
Was that the one with Todd?
Huh?
Was that the one with Todd?
That was the one with Todd. Yeah. Todd showed me a lot that day.
Well, because actually I was just remembering that back there when you were talking about the drop off on the curbs, about how that was the one where they said if you touched the white line that they were gonna black flag you, right?
Us. And I was with Todd. He wasn't my instructor, but he was. I think Brent maybe was, or I can't remember. Chris or Brent.
I think it was Brent.
Maybe it was Brent.
I think I remember you talking about Brent instructing you. Yeah.
And Todd took me out in the car, and he was showing me how to drive it because he had one, and he was showing me the line. Well, we came out of, it was before they had the candies in, we came out of turn number 1, and where it has that extra little bit of edging before it drops off. Like, you know how it has that extra edging here? Yeah. Well, he went all the way out to that edging and put the tire past the white line. I mean, put the car way past the white line. Well, in the meeting, he told us, hey, you know, don't put it past the white line, we're going to black flag you. Don't touch it. Okay. He does that. He puts it all the way over there. And from there, all the way on in, it was black flag. And he wouldn't acknowledge it either. He's like this son of bitches. I don't know if you ever met Todd or whatever, but he's like, that's just like, what was it? He said something about, we have the video. He said something about, and he's like,
you say it was,
son of a bitch or something.
Yeah.
He gets in, and Tyler's doing at the pit.
The grid, yeah.
Under the bridge. And he comes in, and he's
Tyler doesn't get a word
Tyler.
off.
Yeah. He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know Tyler doesn't know what's going on. And he's like just bowing to Tyler. He goes like that's just fucking bullshit. And he's like, Tyler's like, what? Excuse me? And he's like, it's bullshit. And he said, I touched the fucking white line and said, I don't care about this fucking shit. Give me the green light. And Tyler just, and he goes, and that was it. He's like, he's just like, that's fucking bullshit, dude. He's like,
was Todd the instructor?
He was the lead instructor. Yeah.
He went,
Tires are warmed up.
Yeah, Brent warmed me up. Yeah, Brent.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. next time somebody brings me in for touching a white line,
What's that?
it's bullshit. I touch a white line, they black flag me. Give me a green light.
Alright, go right ahead. We're good.
We went out in an instructor. I was thinking we went out like in an instructor session or something like that in my car, and like I said, he touched that white line, and I mean he went way past it, but it was just like he was like.
Well, because I think he used that little runoff that was right outside the first couple turns, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't they have an instructor named Todd that passed away?
Yes,
That was
same
him.
guy.
That was him.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we gave him that video for them. I don't know if they used that or not for that his thing, but yeah, I was like sweet. But I learned a lot from him, and a lot of what I do today is based on what we talked about that day.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He left a good impression on me. I mean, it really did.
Best instructor I ever had.
He was.
James Brown.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember him being up at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's where he instructed me. I'm in Ohio.
So as soon as you see that opening, you're just basically trying to drop it back in.
I go, this is my straight line, my braking zone, I downshift, I get up to the top of that,
Okay.
and then I hammer it.
So from where it's a decreasing radius, you're basically turning it into its own separate corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, like I said, basically what I think.
Todd was also the one that did all the sleuth work to figure out who dropped the quart bottle of oil too.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
He was a nice guy.
Apparently.
Like I said, I didn't realize it at the time, because, and I probably wouldn't have. Like I said, I didn't encourage him at all, but he was already diagnosed. He was given only like 3 months to live or something like that at that time. I don't know if he was even supposed to be driving a car, or not. But Brent or Chris, one of them, encouraged him to let him drive my car. If he's like, would you mind him driving? I was like, I don't care. I said, teach me something.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's like, as long as I can learn something from it. And I did. I learned a lot, because we talked about a couple of things, and like I said, that experience I'll have for the rest of my life, because that was just funny. As soon as I just was laughing, because I was just.
I guess Todd, whenever he was figuring out who dropped that quart bottle of oil too, I guess he actually called Brad Penn to figure out how to identify, like how to match those bottles up, and they told him to look at the batch number on them, and that's how he ended up figuring out exactly who it was that put the quart bottle of oil down the track.
I heard about that.
Yep, I was the recipient of that.
You was the recipient of that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was you that dropped it?
No, I was the recipient.
He was the victim.
Oh, you're the one that went off.
Yeah.
He collected a
Mini.
He collected a mini.
Actually, when they did that millionth Miata tour, I don't know, did you ever stop and see that when it was going through? They had laser engraved like commemorative badges and stuff, and you basically got to put your own text in there. Mine was just no minis. It's like it's going on the cage somewhere.
Darren Fimple was the one that was telling me about that oil.
Yeah.
He said that it got dropped out of somebody's car.
Yep.
Somebody hit it.
Yep.
It was an auto interest event.
Yep.
And his son was out there, and he got really upset about it because his son could have hit that.
I passed 2/3 of the track before we got up there.
Yeah.
The guy that was working the front stretch was calling it in as everybody was drifting the final corner.
Yeah.
Everybody in their front wheel and all-wheel drive vehicles was drifting the damn course.
Yeah.
When I got stopped up there, that guy's first thing he asked me was, "Did you hit that wall back there?" Because they wanted to charge me for it if they did. My response to him was, "I'm fine, thanks."
Wow. So, what became of the damage to your car?
Oh, he's still driving it.
Are you?
Two cylinders.
That's because of other things. That's not because
Yeah.
of his oil.
It just wore out. The engine's worn out.
Yeah,
I was actually talking to I was talking to Emilio out at 949 Racing, and I guess he said it was a common problem with the Miata engines because they're geared so high, they turn a lot of RPM. So if you see a lot of track use or a lot of interstate use, which this car did because I was in the military and I went back and forth a bunch, that high RPM weakens the valve springs, lets the valves bounce on the seats, and will tear up valve seats. We did a leak down test on it, and it's coming back out the intake side, so we have torn up intake valve seats on that thing, causing it to lose compression.
Yeah.
So it just needs rebuilt. Everybody's like, just throw another head on it. And I was like, the front and rear main's leaking too. So we're at 160-some thousand. It's just time to take this engine out of this thing and put a different one in.
How many engines do you have?
4.
Okay.
I have 4 sitting around now.
Run?
Huh?
How many of them run?
A half of one.
Half of one.
Yes.
I've got
4, half of one.
I've got 2 spare
That's
motors,
12.5%.
3 spare transmissions, and 1 spare rear end.
Yeah.
And everyone's on me about building my car. I have 1 car down, and you have like 4.
But how many different ones are you still talking about buying yet? Like, I need to get my shit done.
How many ones am I still talking about buying?
Yeah.
So, who was the person that dropped the oil? Darren said that somebody was adding oil or something like that, and ended up shutting the hood with a open
With a
bottle
full quart.
of oil, or full quart
Yeah.
under the hood.
Well, because that bottle's still hanging up in his garage too. It's on the wall, Shane.
Yeah, I've seen it there.
Yep. That's my bottle.
Yeah.
Your bottle.
Yep.
Did you sign it and put a date on it?
No.
You
It's still covered in oil.
It's not your bottle until you sign it and put a date on it.
I've got a
No,
a clutch disc on the wall of Shane.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they came up to me and asked me if I wanted to press charges on the guy, and I was like, no, but I want the quart. I want the bottle.
Who was that?
Huh?
Who told you that?
Todd.
Todd?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could press charges against a guy.
I don't know if it was really like press charges, but it was like
Do you
have
want
the
him to
guy
pay
fix
for
our
your
stuff.
car?
Yeah. Basically have him pay for the damages, I guess. Because they were like, there's like indisputable evidence, and now that we've brought this up, the guy is saying, yes, that is his quart bottle of oil, so. But yeah,
Yeah, but that's one of those things that
Stuff happens. Yeah.
I was at Gingerman, and I was, trying to master heel toe, and I got it right going into turn 3. So then I entered turn 3 with more speed than the other times when I was compression braking. And I spun, and Jeff Dick was behind me, and I spun, and he hit me. And I told Jeff, I said, hey, I'll pay for the damages. It's my fault. If I wasn't pushing it, you wouldn't hit me. But he told me he wasn't worried about it. So.
Yeah. I think that's the way most of us are too. Like.
Yeah.
We take the risk when we every time we strap it in the car. We take a risk every single time. I didn't realize how this.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know. I never realized.
That'd be not good, especially if you drop the car off on the inside and you're like coming in sideways or something. That would be a.
Or this was my thought in it is if you turned in early.
You'd have to be really early on that though to hit that far back.
Saying, but if you drop it off and hit like this thing, and like for some odd reason it were to unload the wrong way, you just right into that. That's it.
I use this patch here, that corner. Yeah. So I turn in, and I try to apex it about right in the center.
This back here I think actually is where Nolan went off and.
It is.
Yeah, and saved it somehow.
Yeah, he drove it up out of the ditch over there.
Yeah.
It's on video on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he saved it.
I'm just saying when the back end starts, because my back end kind of kicks out just a little bit when I come through here. If I were to kick out just a little bit more, I think that I'd be in that.
When we ran this backwards, this turns awesome backwards.
Awesome backwards?
Yeah, because
of all that banking.
The increasing radius.
It's increasing instead of decreasing.
Yeah.
You could just power on all the way around. And one of the guys in the cop car gave me a point by, and so we were going too wide through here. It was
really. That's cool.
This is probably the same banking as the other one.
Yeah, down here at the very end of it, it looks like it has a.
Yeah, it's got a lot
more
more banking to it than I thought it did.
All these corners got a lot of banking to them, it seems like.
I mean, it's what he's saying is kind of true about the whole being kind of fastest course. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it has banking in the right places just for you to get on throttle and keep it on.
Mm-hmm.
Other than tire walls, it seems to be a very well thought out course.
That, I mean, just the barriers, I think, is not necessarily, I mean, like that. That right there doesn't look like a good spot. I wonder if they're gearing up for a 24-hour at here.
I think they've already done 24 hours here.
I know they'd have, but I mean, I
Champ
just
car.
wonder if they're like really, you know, getting in touch with Champ Car and being like, hey, we
Trying to
want
get the
be able
accommodations
to
and stuff to...
set up for a 24-hour,
Yeah. You know, it'd be,
not just one time, you know, but like.
you know, it'd be really cool is if they were setting up like some garages or something over there.
Well, that's what I was hoping
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
villas. I wouldn't be on our access.
Well, not just like villas, but like actual garages like they have at Mid-Ohio, so you could have a place to...
See, like for me, when I'm coming out of this corner, there's a little dip I feel right at the edge. Just kind of feels like it just.
Not really seeing it.
Hold on, there's a mark right here. That looks pretty gnarly though.
That drop off?
Yeah, that does. But dirty. And I'm usually
On the edge.
on the edge of
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was about ready to say. I was about on the edge. I don't know how close to the edge. That's what I was asking him on the braid lap. How close to on the edge I was.
How far out are you feeling this bump?
Huh?
How far out are you feeling this bump?
Uh,
You see where the black mark crosses the white line?
start at it.
Huh?
That right at the start.
Right there? At the start of the black mark? Yeah, because I can see it dips right there. From all the way back there, it is visible. It's like right at the start of it here. There's one like right here is the low point, more or less, like right here.
Yeah, it's like right around. Yeah.
I thought I saw smoke up this way at some point today.
I wondered how they made that.
Spinning.
Oh, so they did spin it around.
Yeah.
It looks like they did like it. Yeah. Maybe drop it off back here.
Yeah.
Drop it
They
off
dropped
right
the
there
tire.
in that hump we were talking about, and then came on around, and then came.
Well, they've definitely dropped the tire back here and maybe tried to overcorrect.
I got black flagged at Mid-Ohio for dropping two off
Yeah.
and four.
I know that's, they always told us if we drop two off, you're supposed to come in through the pit and let them check out the car to make sure it wasn't like damaged or anything.
Four off.
If you drop two, you're supposed to self-check, and if you drop four,
They're going to flag you for it.
flag you for it.
Mhm.
Because not necessarily they're going to see you drop two, and then flag you.
Well, I got
That's-
flagged for repeatedly dropping two at four. But it was
Yeah.
I was on the apex.
And the chicane, or
It's-
four at.
It'd be the turn. You're coming down the back straight. You make a turn, then it's the next turn. Before you go over the big hump there.
Okay, so what you and I would probably call 7.
Okay, so.
'Cause we got-
So 7 would be trying to beach, and then you get up over Madness.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm
Okay.
getting it. I'm wrong. It'd be trying to beach the turn after trying to beach.
So Madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking 4. I'm like, you drop.
Pro course versus club. Like Mid-Ohio is one of the few tracks that I know of that changes the number of the corners depending on which configuration of the track you're running.
Yeah. That kink looks worse walking than it does
yeah.
driving. I don't even slow for it.
I have to.
I'm still gaining speed when I hit that kink.
This is the left hand right here, right before you hit the right and then head into the hairpin down at the end here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well, there's two kinks here, really.
Really, to me, after this kink, there's like 2 more turns before you hit that hairpin.
Okay.
But really, you just take it all as one freaking stretch. It seems like the thing has like a little bit of essays to it, or whatever you want.
Essays to it.
Essays? Essays?
I don't care, I'm gonna laugh at it anyway.
What, essays?
Yeah.
I wonder if the plywood's for.
I think it's to cover a hole. Oh, it has to.
Never noticed.
You can lift it up and see. You can get night crawlers underneath here. Bird nest. Take a picture of the bird nest and be like, here, that's your marker. What is that? That's my marker. That's your bird nest. This king just seems nice. I like. It just feels easy. I don't really think of it as a kink if I get it.
It's funny because as you approach it, it seems like it gets more open. Back here, it looked worse than what it does here.
I don't brake until I get down to close. Well, I'm not going that fast either. I'm only
How
hitting
fast
about
are you
100.
going? But I'm only hitting 95.
Huh?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You're going like 120.
Oh no, I'm not doing 120. No, we can. I mean, are you all the way over here and then coming over? Or
I'm
just progressively coming over?
progressively coming over to make it more straight.
So like I'm coming, as I'm coming through there, setting up from the left, and then progressively coming over until I'm about ready to just drop that tire, the right side tire off, and then bring it all the way back over to the right. But are you staying more mid-track and then make it
No,
straighter?
I'm doing the same thing. I'm making it straighter. I drift over here
Drift
to
over.
the right and back out to the left, and then
make your turn for the.
Yeah, and then I don't hit the brakes until about where that road is that we cross, the access road.
Oh wait a minute, sorry, never mind. I'm turned around. The other one, that's
Down there?
no. Yeah, down there I brake.
Oh.
not here. I was thinking that was this. I'm
Oh.
like,
No, I
there
don't.
should be like a hairpin right there somewhere.
I don't brake for the next one.
I was gonna say, this one doesn't seem like, if you're looking at like the tire marks through here, it doesn't seem like the popular line's all the way down on the bottom either. It looks like people leave a little bit of room with this one.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like at Summit Point.
Yeah.
Where no one was coming all the way down. I was the only one coming all the way down and touching those that hole
Yeah.
or whatever a hole was. That was fun. Yeah, but the next one, you're rushing and going.
No, I don't even brush.
This guy's like insane.
Driving me out of it.
Still, that's insane. I guess I have to drive me out in order to understand that.
Yeah.
Good.
I start off the first session of the day I lift, and then by the end of the day I'm just going straight through it.
Straight through that too. And I think it has to do a lot with my memory of losing brakes, because I have to at least touch that brake.
Yeah.
To just make me feel confident as I go through. I know they're going to work.
Where'd you lose your brakes at?
I lost it at pit race.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we overheated them. Big time, didn't we? And you were with me, weren't you? I ran into the trailer, I was like coming back in, boom.
Oh, yeah.
So you lost it in the pits?
No, I initially lost them. We had a red flag, and this is another thing I've learned, is when we have red flags, they don't care if you move the car, you know, as you're in the red flag to keep them from getting hot. calipers. Well, I just sat there, and the red flag was like 15 minutes long, so I just sat there holding it because I was up on a hill.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and held them, and they just heated up. So I had the first pedal, but then when I got to the first pedal as I was coming into the pits, but then when I came up over the hill and came to the trailer at the brake, and then went straight to the floor and ran right into, right into our trailer.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I hit the brakes and I was like, out of the fucking way, and he's like, what the, and boom.
Yeah.
I tried to get it up on the trailer, actually, was what I was trying to do, is to try to slow it down a little bit, but nah, I did not want that. It came right off of it. Yeah.
I don't know if I remember you doing that or if I remember you telling me about you doing that, but I remember that.
You might have been doing stuff for Carfest. That happened during Carfest.
Okay.
No, it didn't happen during Carfest. It happened the weekend, the month or whatever, July thing at pit.
Okay.
I came back with Carfest.
The Star Spangled?
Yeah, I came back with it because that's when we did the stainless steel lines, the new brake fluid, and that's when I first upgraded to actual track.
Yeah.
And then I went back out because then like after that, you're like, oh, it just needs to be cooled down. So then like we let it cool down and stuff, and then after that it was already too late. It was already whatever had already happened, and the fluid had already boiled. And about 3-4 laps in, I come up over. I want to say 7. Trying to get down in like the little doggy bowl, and then you have to climb the hill to come up out of it, and pit race. I crest that hill, and I come down over on the other side. I hit the brake and go straight to the floor as we go through those Corvette corners. And I went through the first one sideways, the second one sideways, and then snap, boom. Off we went. And then we went backwards. So almost dangerous all the way back around. We tried. It did not succeed.
Is that when you messed up the quarter pole?
I messed the quarter
That
pole
was
twice.
NCM?
NCM was the first time. What had happened was something similar to what your incident was, but NCM was in the last week of March, and so it was like kind of a sleet, hail, snow type deal, and so that whole day we were running in the rain, and it was fun because like the rain would come across the track and how it's been designed. If you ever look at a track design, look at the guy who designed that, because the guy who designed that designs like the F1 tracks and stuff like that. And and then like it had like water going across the like in the where the canyon stripes were going across the road, and they just told us, they said just push her, or not push her, but just like go. But when you hit that water and stuff, or hit those patches, whatever you're doing, just pause until you get back onto like a different surface. So you just hit that, and you just like 4-wheel drift. I mean, everything would, you just pause, and you just 4-wheel drift it until you got back on the other side, and you just gain traction, and you just gather everything back up, and you go on again. And not really gather anything up, but just like you just get to
The car would grab again.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't like get upset or anything. It just, you just kind of like do this like float, and you just, you know, you get on the other side, and then you just just go, but you just have to anticipate it. And started clearing up as it went on through the day. And the last session, I was with everyone. I was in HPD 1 at NASA, and I'm talking to my instructor, and I'm like, I feel weird about this, but I feel like I need to be all the way on the outside when I go through this turn. And there's a turn called, it was like right before Deception, and the Deception turn was like, you came up over a hill, blind hill, and then it was off camber, and you kind of like took a 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
Well, this turn before Deception was like a
That's a
180. Yeah, it was like a 180 something or another. But everyone was like trying to keep that inside and like throwing it away. And I'm sitting there like, well, you know what? I'd rather go on the outside, hold that outside line, and then come in. Well, I did that. I just carried way too much speed going into Deception. that I'd been doing all day long. When we came up over it, it was me. I mean, I made it. I mean, when it broke loose, I just lifted.
Yeah.
And it just threw it the rest of the way around. If I probably would have been today, if I would have probably been in that same situation, I probably would have just gave it gas, and we probably would have saved it. But it was just that.
Yeah.
As soon as I felt it break loose, I lifted, and it just came the rest of the way around.
So then you add some lift off oversteer to add to it.
Yeah. To a already loose condition.
Yeah.
And then the car wasn't set up the way it is now, and that was the first time. The second time was I went into Mid-Ohio at turn 7, and it just, we blame it on the
Rear toe.
The rear and front toe. Rear and front toe was a half an inch in on both front and back. And what happened with it was when I hit the brakes going down into that turn, and then plus because my car has more of a bite on the rear tires than it does on the front, when I came down to that turn and it hit, it jumped right and then hooked left and tried to put me into that wall at turn number 7 on the inside. I just barely grazed it.
Yeah.
And did all that damage to it. Well, we'll fix it again, paint the garage again. Maybe we'll paint it red. I kind of favor the white. I like
So
I was thinking about painting mine white.
I like white.
I did too.
the Miata that we're doing for Champ,
Yeah.
that car already had a name. It was previously known as Big Bird, so
Big Bird would be fun.
we're kind of stuck on collars for that one.
That's okay. I don't care. I'll drive yellow. I'll drive fluorescent pink. I don't care. Put me in a ride.
They were gonna paint it sunburst.
Yeah.
It was well, because when Darren told me it was a yellow car, I was like, "You have a sunburst. I want that." But it turned out to be like a much more pale kind of yellow, so I don't know. It's something that had been repainted at some point in time.
Back here it looked like it was a divot, like water kind of channeled out from. That was definitely, they laid one section and then they came back
Yeah,
and
added to it.
this on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
All the way down through that turn. Basically, they extended. It seems like
Widened
they
the track.
extended that turn.
Yeah. It's been widened. I don't know why you would. I guess it gives you a couple different lines you can take through here.
I think it was just runoff. I think it's more than anything. I think I just runoff. I mean, it's like, going in
That's
that turn, it gets you a little bit.
well, that's almost like a straight ahead runoff in order to get that.
Well, like if you carry too much speed. Like if you have the cojones to hold it flat out, like some people. That if he comes in a little too hot and the front tires just don't bite, it gives him a little bit of edge to kind of get it back under control before he just goes way off. That looks like a diff right here.
Are you all the way out there for this?
No. I'm just looking at this.
Okay.
Here, this little where like they seamed it together.
I get you.
I'm just kind of looking at that. No, I mean I'm on the inside. Basically, right where those black marks are at. That's probably where I'm going, but I'm not like going to go for them because obviously he didn't make it.
I was gonna say that looks fresh too.
I'm probably like more. I would say probably like my car's probably from here left. Probably.
Yeah.
And then just.
Whoever did that dropped the tire way back here, like where that little bit of runoff starts there.
But see, this is where I think it's kind of confusing because like they give a whole bunch of runoff here. They give a little looks like a little nub right there for what reason, I have no clue.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have any purpose.
It does, yeah.
I go straight.
Yeah,
here.
right where these black marks are at, it just end up there, but not pointing in that direction. Yeah, I don't understand what that is. Unless it's kind of like,
This looks like somebody went through sideways.
Yeah.
Those are way too wide to be.
Yeah, they are. That's besides.
That would have been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
he was carrying a lot of freaking speed.
Well, and can you imagine hitting the ends of the pavement out here going, oh shit, don't tip, don't tip.
You know what? You know what that looks like to me?
What?
It looks like they're setting this thing up for like a drift track or something. You know? That's a lot of angle for you to be able to come up here in tandem and then bring it back
Swing it
around,
back, yeah.
and then, you know, and then set it up for the hairpin. It's like you're going to be this way, and then you're going to drop, clutch, and then bring it back, and then it sets you perfect up for that hairpin with that little nub there.
Yeah.
You get the rim ride back. I can see this being a premier track if they just have
If they keep working it like they are, it'll
you
be,
just keep working with. Well,
yeah.
you hook it up for drifters. If you didn't care about the track, screw it.
I heard the drifters are tearing up the track at Ginger Man.
Are they?
Well, and the reason is because the edges, because like us, you know, they're pushing on the edge all the time. And I usually come right through here. Come right through here, and then right when it starts to bend, just turn a little bit, and then, you know, set up on the outside and come on in. Or do you try to go straight on through? And
I go straight. I start braking right after this turn. As soon as I see that road, and I try to stay as far right as I can before I cut it in.
You know, your
after
bump,
the road.
Huh?
After the road.
Yes.
your bump up here from the access road could just be from where they're passing trailers and everything over it too.
It could be. I mean, it's probably going to be a lot more traveled than. But it just.
Well, and you're putting a lot more weight on it too.
Well, it just feels like I hit railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Like I'm just hitting, not like railroad tracks that are like up in the air, but just.
Can't see it, but there's definitely something you hit back here.
In that kink or in that turn, yeah.
Yeah, in that turn, there's something kind of
Just yeah.
unloads the suspension a little bit.
Well, it looked to me here, it looks like it's kind of banked a little bit, but it's not just that inner portion. It's not like the whole turn's banked, but just the smaller. We'll get back there and look at it. Or
I looked, I didn't see anything come through there.
I suppose something to be obvious.
This section seems bumpier than it is.
Yeah, I'm more worried about this than I am that. That I can kind of handle. Yeah, and you're right, because like when I come through there, I like I said, I just give it a little bit of brake just to break the front end, just give me some confidence when I come up in this turn. And it does. It feels like it wants to. The front end of my car just seems like it wants to just kind of come in a little bit more. It's a little bit more responsive than what I want it to be.
Yeah.
When I do it. And then right through here, right before it and right out after it, it seems like the right side just kind of dips.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a dip up here.
But
You
then,
don't visually see it.
but then, like I said, it just when I come across this access road, it's like there's like a drain pipe or there's something there that I feel like I just come across the other track, just like that.
And maybe it is the second heavy trailer is going across.
Yeah. And then of course when you have the cars hitting it in the other direction, I'm sure that's hitting it again, so.
Oh, there's the drainage pipe he was talking about. It's on that little
Yeah.
access road.
But I was thinking there was one going across it, you know. I mean, I don't see anything. What kind of weirds me out is this? Like, I mean, these are rust marks, right? I mean, that's what those are.
Yeah.
They're like all over the track. That's what kind of weirds me out the most. I mean, it's different to see them underneath the bridge, like at Summit Point, but like
Yeah.
it's like all over. hoping this is it right here. This is like, actually, I bet you this is it.
Well, look, as you can see, the marks on the ground lighting up and everything too.
Yeah, there's two different tastes.
And it follows the tire mark straight through, so it's the trailers coming through.
In a sense, it is a lot like the railroad tracks because you've got two.
You've got, yep.
I just know it's like a plunk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
You can
enough
see it a
that-
little bit more right here. Right, yeah, right here, and
Mm-hmm.
that section right here, like here.
Yeah.
And that's in a weird section to have it too. Well, I was thinking I saw this, and I thought maybe, oh, they just poured that 2 different days, and there's a hump there,
Seam or
small
something.
Seam,
Yeah.
or hump. Like I said, I just feel that coming to this point every single time. I don't know what it's from. Don't know what it's from.
This has even got a little bit of bank on the outside of it too.
It does.
It's not as gnarly as I think the other turn is.
Right, no, it's not. And you're not. I feel like that's really only to catch you and pitch you back the other way if you end up out there too. And like you said, might have been for something for drifting too. Because I don't feel like you're going to end up all the way. Well, I don't know. If you get upset coming back through some of these kinks back here or something, maybe. Because obviously a few people have gone off back here.
It looks so perfect to be able to, like, start all up over there, okay, and then just start just honing on the speed as you come through the kink, and then clutch kick, step it sideways, and then lift off, counter steer, go back the other way, then lift off, come back, and then bring it in sideways, and then just clutch kick
Yeah.
and come around, and then around the other way, and then once you get it straight, you come down the straightaway, and then just ease on off, and then bring it back into the pitch, or bring it back all the way around, so
Maybe
it's
what they're doing.
almost like what they were thinking. That's that'd be fun. I'd do that.
So the strip starts on the inside really early. This is a deceptively late apex, I think.
Usually I'm out to about where Chip is at, and then I'm bringing it on in. late.
Okay.
Yeah, I laid apex this one.
That way it sets me up all the way on the
For the hairpin.
on the outside for the
Yeah.
gnarly one.
Thought somebody was droning over there, but
Here.
thought somebody had a drone over there, but somebody's grinding on something. I wonder if they're working on
They're
the
working on
the gate or the fence.
They were talking about going and getting they're trying to find a welder and stuff, and so they can weld that back together.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was telling them, I was like, why don't we just get some if you could find propane and
This is off
iron-
camber.
Huh?
This is
Yeah.
off camber. Sorry.
Propane and coat hangers. And so we just do a little bit of brazing.
Well, I was just gonna suggest JB weld.
I Big off camber. But again, you're just willing to stay out there for just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, it just almost seems like you need to hug that. Hug that inside there, but
I felt like some people, when I was watching them run this corner, were apexing too early too. Like they were trying to hug the whole way and it just didn't work.
there's a lot of black marks on the inside. That's true.
It doesn't mean they're right though.
Battle someone for position here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I use for that patch of these different pavements is the corner of that turn is very, very good. Back, not here, but back a little way, right?
Well, it's a visual rep.
Yeah.
When I see this, I start cutting it in.
I usually try to aim. I come in back here. I drop in back here.
I try to do a late apex.
Yes, I try to do it. It doesn't seem
My
to-
student kept wanting to do an early apex here, and I kept telling him to do a late apex.
We try to tell them to stay on the outside.
And sometimes he listened really well, and other times he didn't. But
I'm sure if this is like one of your first times, it's probably trying to comprehend things, you know?
A lot of tire marks are going off in that direction, and that's where that Corvette ended up.
oh, really?
Yeah, he ended up on top of that one.
On top of that tire
On
wall?
top of that tire wall over
You
there.
mess that car up?
It just like almost like he planted it right there, like he meant to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna have to try that tomorrow. Try this, just maybe see how far I can push it out here. You know, I mean, you see where people are running out here,
Yeah.
trying to make it. I just. Because like if I bring this in like probably 4 feet maybe, it's a more aggressive turn. This is where I'm probably at as I'm coming through there. I'm getting loose coming off the back end of it.
Yeah, see, you noticed that big divot in the track, didn't you? You saw it, Nelly.
Really needs to be end up right here where I need it. Yeah, well, that's what they're going. They're going to try to stop. They're going to grid it. They're going to grid it.
Yeah.
Grid it right here.
I think the Camaro started all the way back here. It tank slapped its way all the way up there.
Yeah.
And one of these over here. Huh?
That's a Camaro.
This is the Charger, Challenger, whatever that Charger,
Challenger?
Charger,
That,
the black Charger.
Black Charger?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
The Camaro started back here. He tank slapped. He tank slapped his way all the way up there. I think Nelson found something. I don't know what he found, but it's something.
That's your sighting cone. Straight line brake, sighting cone. Sighting cone. Another sighting cone. This one you don't want to hit all the way. Now this one, this is where you want to kind of, you can kind of keep on the gas or pull your out. Your midpoint, you're looking for your sighting cone. There it is. Two downshifts. Alright, this cool down lap is very important in this car. You got a lot of braking mass.
Yes.
You got very thick rotors, very thick calipers. So, you know, like 40, 45 miles an hour, stay off your brakes.
Okay, now like,
Keep an eye on this.
yeah, oh yeah, I've been. And when you're coming through here, you want to stay about mid, and then about
Right here, you want to be tight.
And then you want to be coming in tight.
You want to be
and
tight
about-
and on the gas right here.
Right here, yeah.
And then here, alright, this is where you start to unwind it. Just kind of like let it drift toward the middle.
Keep it at the middle.
Yep, I like it like right here. And then this is where I get set up for my sighting cone over here.
Okay.
Like I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. And I want to come up right next to it.
Okay.
And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hammer out toward this cone. And then see that cone up there? You want to kind of go right for that. So you go for that one and then that one. Like you're headed straight for it. And what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to tap the brakes and then turn in. And then this is like a straight ride through. Like this is like straight. Here's your straight line braking zone right here. So you brake, downshift twice, and then you're in.